Hello and good morning, Kinaway community, and to all of our friends out there in the business community joining us here today. My name's Kim, and I'll be hosting the session with you. But before we get started, I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which I'm coming from. And I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which each and every one of you is tuning in from, and pay our respects to our elders, past, present, and emerging. I'd also like to remind you all that Kinaway is still offering all the usual forms of support for our members and your families. So if you feel that you may need assistance or support of any kind, please feel free to get in contact with the team here at Kinaway. All righty. So now that we have all of that out of the way, we have a deadly presentation for you today from our friends at Matchworks. And today they're going to be speaking to us about some of the federal government wage subsidies and the various supports that they're able to offer your business. So without any further ado, let's give them a big warm welcome. And I will throw the floor over to Chris Matheson, the State Manager of Matchworks. Chris.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, community, and thank you, my team leads that have joined me here today. As Kim mentioned, we'll be running through what Matchworks can offer and support your business. We will touch on wage subsidies and any further communication. The slideshow will be sent to you guys as well to have a look at. So thank you from Matchworks. And today I just wanted to run through who is Matchworks to begin. So Matchworks is a government not-for-profit organisation that help First Nations, job active and disability support services find sustainable employment through anyone from a small company right through to a large corporate organisation. This is where the team and I will come out, meet with employers and get to know what your business is looking for and how we can support you as a business and what we can offer as well. So our approach now is to work on a business partnership rather than a transactional partnership, which is really important to us here at Matchworks. It's all about what we can do as a partner with you to help, one, grow your business and support our job seekers, number two, best. So on the next slide, you'll see is a model of the structure that we have here at Matchworks. So we'll go to the Matchworks recruitment management team, the next slide in, which is we've got Nikki Nowak, who's our head general manager that looks after the nation of employer engagement partners. Then it branches off into the state leads where we have Western Australia, Queensland, New South Wales, ACT, Victoria is myself, and South Australia as well. So we have a large national footprint where we all work the same model through Matchworks and the employer engagement team. Under that team, then we have team leads such as the others on the call today, Astrid, Angie, Van, Maria, and Abby, who look after Victoria with me as well. Then what I'll do is I'll get Angie to jump in and talk about partnerships with purpose.
Okay, thank you. In partnership, our goal is centred around building an exclusive, supportive and accessible environment to offer our job seekers the best possible chance to engage in long-term, meaningful employment with a delivery model tailored specifically to the needs and requirements of both our job seekers and employers. We'll work in partnership to achieve the milestones across each placement. Our approach to achieve strong employment outcomes will have a positive impact on three key stakeholders, which will be our job seekers, clients, and Matchworks as well.
Thanks, Angie. Who would like to present the supporting our job seekers and supporting you page? All good.
I can do that one.
Excellent.
So essentially, Matchworks offers quite the wraparound service for our employers and our job seekers. So that's benefiting our job seekers through our referral and placement into our employers and long-term sustainable ongoing employment. We offer post-placement support program, not just to our job seekers to support them when starting new employment, but also to our employers to offer that support with a brokering a new relationship as well, to ensure it's a successful outcome for everyone. Workplace accessibility and setup support, so we can come in and assess, put any supports in place that are needed for our job seekers for the employment to be ongoing and successful as well. Health and wellbeing services are readily accessible for our clients, whether that's when they're in still the job seeking phase, or when they do start work, there's the appropriate services for them to access. And then our Genu training arm, so that's something that we can access for our clients so they can upskill and get ready for employment, but it's also something we can work with our employers and tailor specific industry suitable training for you to get suitable candidates as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Abby.
I can do that one, Chris. In terms of Matchworks, part of our employment engagement partner roles is to identify job seekers to match them to vacancies. So job seeker sourcing and matching. So our partnership approach seeks collaboration, understanding your needs and setting realistic expectations around suitability to the role gives great opportunity to our job seekers in gaining employment. So it is a 4-stage process. First of all, we'll pre-screen and shortlist job seekers who demonstrate meeting the requirements of the role based off job profile and transferable skills. One-on-one phone interviews to assess suitability and provide details, overview on employer, position and expectation. We also shortlist, finalise and job match confirm clients. Most suitable match job seekers refer directly to consideration by the employer. We're inclusive shortlisting, including all cohorts across both JA and DES as well.
Excellent. Partnership milestones.
Apologies. So the next step in our model is that partnership milestone. So Matchworks is really going to be working closely with you to ensure that all staff that we do put into your organisations are there for the long term. That's our aim. And we do this via a range of services that we offer our clients from day one when they walk into the Matchworks office, right through to once they commence and into the future. So our milestones, and I guess where we look to gauge how our clients are progressing, how you as an employer are finding them, are sort of in 4 stages, being day 1, 12 weeks, 26 weeks, and obviously the ultimate 52-week milestone, if you like. So that day 1 is all about the job seeker, our client, starting in your organisation. We've gone through the process of ensuring that they will be the right fit for you, but now we need to make sure that they're going to engage into employment and they have all the support they need to ensure that that first day is a successful one. And that's such a key component to what we can offer as an organisation. So we're able to provide on-site support if required to make sure that that transition into employment is a positive one for everyone. And we do begin what we call our post-placement support program, which Van will talk about shortly, just to ensure that there is that ongoing communication throughout their employment. And we know how the client is progressing and how you as an employer are finding their integration into the business. At 12 weeks, we will conduct a thorough review with both client and employer to ensure that we are meeting and they are meeting all the requirements. We also want to make sure that you as an employer are finding that they are fit for purpose, and are able to provide you what you need for your business. But more crucially, we want to make sure that their transition into work is being a positive one and that they don't require any further assistance from us that we're possibly not providing. So the whole health and wellbeing side of our business is available to the clients throughout this process through our post-placement support team. So that's something we would look at engaging when required. It might be something they need throughout the process, but we'll see how that goes in conjunction with conversations with them and yourselves. At 26 weeks, that's when the wage subsidy entitlement payment would come into place for you as an employer. And again, that's sort of when, from a milestone perspective, we would look at easing off that post-placement support as being an ongoing constant in their life, because at that milestone, we would see that all the conversations would have been had as to what both employer and client needs, and that match is really working well towards that 52-week outcome. Of course, if we need to re-engage, we would look at how we do that and address any issues that might be arising that you've identified or that our client has identified, or possibly our post-placement team in conversations with you both might have identified to ensure we reach the 52-week outcome. And as I said, the ultimate goal is that 52 weeks. The final wage subsidy payment would be paid at that point to your organisation, but also we want to make sure that that 52-week isn't the end of the relationship, that they will continue successfully in employment for many years to come.
Thank you. Post-placement support program. Ben.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having me, guys, and good morning to you all. So I'll take you through what is ongoing support and post-placement support. So I'll go through the what, when, why, how, and where. So let's start with what is ongoing support or post-placement support. The best way to explain this, I came to Australia in 1980 from Vietnam as a migrant. And when I came to Australia, I couldn't speak English. And imagine if I was going to go to work, how could I understand the culture? How could I adapt? I would struggle. And I know I was young and I couldn't have started work, but I went to school, I struggled. So post-placement support and ongoing support is essentially that. It's a program to support employees like yourself. At the same time, support job seekers just starting out, and you've given them an opportunity. And that's so thankful. Like, just Australia gave me an opportunity to come to this country, and you're about to give an opportunity for someone to start work, but they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle at the beginning, and that's what ongoing support and post-placement support is about. It's about a program to support your employers and support the job seekers at the same time. When did we start this program? We started pilot this in 2017, and not long after we rolled it out, and we now have rolled it out nationally because it's such a successful program. And why do we do this? Before we had this program, my first-hand experience is that job seekers and employers like yourself, you say, well, this person is not working or not keen. But then when I speak to the job seekers, I'm super keen. But it could be a number of reasons. For example, cultural differences, or it could be because of their angst, anxiety, or whatever the reason might be. There might be a number of barriers so that the employers, the job seekers aren't on the same page. And that's what this post-placement program is all about. It's about bringing everybody together and having on the same page. So that's, and why do we do it? We do it because we want to get the job seekers across these milestones that we touched on before. It's just to get them onto long-term sustainable employment and become valuable assets to your company. How do we do it? On the slides there. Can we go to the next slide, please? Post-placement support program. There's a number of different ways we do that, but essentially it's about, we've got a post-placement support officer that stay very close with the job seeker when they start work. And it could be, they do a number of different things. They could be meeting the job seeker face-to-face, on-site, off-site. They could be calling them on the phone. They could be meeting them somewhere to have a coffee, just to go through what's working, what's not working. So there's probably three key things that this program's about. It's about communication. So the communication between the post-placement officer with the job seeker and with the employer. Just link all that together so we all get everybody on the same page. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we look at problem solving for your business and also for the job seeker and also for Matchwork. We are, like we said before, we are a partnership. We build a strong partnership. We want to make it work for everybody. Work it for the job seekers. They are now starting a new job and they want to be there long term. For you employers, we want them to be sustainable. And for Matchworks, we wanted to make sure everything works out is with this partnership. So that problem solving, and sometimes problem solving is just helping the job seeker, helping the employers, looking at what's not working and learning from that, modifying. So there's a number of different ways we do that with the post-placement support. And thirdly, so there's only three key things: communication, problem solving, and third is building a really strong partnership with the employers, the job seekers, to support job seeker, but also support employers like yourself. So essentially, that's what post-placement support program is all about. It's about supporting you as employers and also supporting job seekers. So in the long term, everything works out for you.
Excellent. Thanks, Van. We can just jump on to the next slide. We'll touch on what Abby discussed in her slide with the upskill and training that we can support your businesses with. So here at Matchworks, we have a training arm called GenU, and we're going to start rolling out accelerated programs. So these programs are dedicated to work with your needs as a business, and we'll take them back. We'll develop a specific program and roll them out over a 2 or a 5 day period. And we can get them ticketed, white cards, traffic management tickets, anything that you are needing in your business is what we can look at doing with inside these programs to one, save costs for you. It's fully funded by Matchworks, and two, to make sure that the candidate that's coming into your business has the best support and they've got their best foot forward, ready to hit the ground running. So you as a business can thrive in, meeting your profit margins, making sure that you're getting your deliveries out on time or whatever it may be. So this is where these skilled programs would come into play for you and your business. Now, what I'll do is we've got 2 different types of wage subsidy services that we offer here within Matchworks that also support, and this is a big key factor to help support the new incumbent coming into your business, but also help you financially as well. So what I might do is get Angie to just talk a little bit about the job active side of things, and then I'll hand it over to Astrid to talk about the DES side of things, and we'll go from there.
Okay, with wage subsidies, we're able to, I guess we call it a pool of money that we can dip into and offer our employers the opportunity to take on the grant from our government. So the wage subsidies will range up to $10,000 per the eligible job seeker that is referred to you, that is somebody that's actually been placed with your organisation. So when we confirm the placement on the day, we'll actually have our wage subsidy team reach out to you personally and advise you of the wage subsidy eligibility for that particular job seeker. So what is available to you as the employer would be approximately $10,000 per job seeker, and they are paid over 2 instalments. There's one at 13 weeks and the final at 26 weeks.
Excellent. Astrid, you're on mute.
I know, it keeps muting me. Apologies all. On the DES side, we have access to similar subsidies as Angie discussed in terms of federal government funded ones, depending on our clients in terms of the barriers that they may have, how they are from a Centrelink perspective, assign different levels, and we would base the recommendations on wage subsidies around what is available from a federal government point of view, and then also look at from a Matchworks point of view how we can support with a subsidy. So DES have the ability within Matchworks that we can not only access federal government funding, but ourselves as a business also include funding depending on the client's specific barriers and how they are classified within the Centrelink system, we can also offer an amount. And that will be based on what we call their benchmark hours, as well as the level that they are classified as. So in discussions and when referring clients to you, we would stipulate what the recommendation would be. And as Angie explained, around what we can offer, because Matchworks do also provide funding, and that's something that we can discuss on a case-by-case basis with you for the individual that we are representing.
Excellent, thank you. And just to wrap up the wage subsidy service as a whole as well, it can go up to $10,000 within the scheme of things, and all we need is, from an employer perspective, is to make sure that you're paying the minimum award wage, they're reaching their benchmark hours, whether it be 8 hours a week right through to 30 hours a week, depending on the incumbent, and getting pay slips in your pay cycle, whether it's weekly, fortnightly or monthly. But I will send something across to Kim in more detail about wage subsidies at the end of this. I'd like to thank you for your time and listening to us about Matchworks and how we work. If you do need any more information, please feel free to reach out to Kim and he can pass on my details or anyone on.
That's been fantastic, Chris, and the team. Absolutely delighted to have had you guys speak and share some information with us. Now, there are a few questions that our community have asked, and particularly one of the ones is around the wage subsidy. So I'm guessing perhaps Angie might be the best person for that. Now, Angie, these wage subsidies of $10,000, is that correct?
It's up to $10,000 per eligible job seeker. We do obviously need to have a minimum of 25 hours per week to be eligible, and it needs to be consistent each and every week to be eligible for that wage subsidy. And I guess the way we determine whether the individual has successfully completed that is by providing those the pay slips to our wage subsidy team, who will guide you through the process as well.
And I guess that's probably also where we have that post-placement support team available to work with the employer and also the employee. Is that right?
That's correct. That's why we've put it all together, just to make sure, one, we're allowing the employer to get the full funding that's available to them, whilst mentoring and supporting both the employer and employee to reach that benchmark hours to get the best for both parties involved.
Fantastic. One of the other things, Chris, that I think our viewers may not know is that Matchworks are a national organisation. So not only are you able to support businesses here in Victoria, even though Kinaway members are here in Victoria, you are able to support businesses nationally. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. So we've got a footprint in Western Australia, South Australia, Victoria, New South Wales, ACT, and Queensland as well.
Wow.
So
Well, that does
all across the board.
Sorry, that does provide a lot of what's the right word there? I guess there should be a lot of confidence for our business members that with that national footprint that Matchworks have, they've got a lot of experience, not just here in Victoria, but right across Australia in finding the right candidates, developing them, and then networking and working with your business to ensure that you get the best outcomes. Now, when we speak about Victoria specifically, is Matchworks just based here in metropolitan Melbourne, or is there support available for quite a few of our members that are out in the regions, out in Bendigo or out in Gippsland and so forth?
Yeah, there's plenty of opportunities. We're not just metro based down here. We've got Abby looks after Geelong and Surf Coast, all the way out to Portland and Hamilton. We've got Van, who looks after the West and Westgate region from Werribee right through to the beginning of Ballarat. We've got Angie, who looks after Bendigo and Ballarat and also shares the region of Flemington with Van. And we've got Maria, who looks after the northeast and eastern suburbs. And we've got Astrid, who looks after everything from Glen Waverley right down to the peninsula. We don't have a footprint out in Gippsland at this present stage, but we've also got partners that we can partner with out there to cover any business that is out there as well.
And I think one of the other things that's that's quite important, I think if you could possibly touch on that, our understanding is that Matchwork is a not-for-profit organisation. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. So we're a not-for-profit, but profit for purpose. With the money that we make out of outcomes, so we don't get paid until we put a job seeker into a placement and we get through those milestones of 4, 12, 26 and 52 weeks. Then the government will pay us money for supporting the job seeker. So all the money we make goes back into our head office, which is GenU, our mother company, that build purpose-fit buildings for people living with disabilities to provide them a safe shelter and a safe place where they can live on their own and become part of community again.
That is absolutely fantastic. And I think for our Kinaway members out there and the people that are watching, that is one of the fantastic, if we want to say, that would be one of the benefits of working with Matchworks ahead of some of the other for-profit organisations. Like Kinaway, you're very community focused. You work hard and tirelessly to ensure that individuals get the best support available to them, and you are proactive in working with businesses. So, we're absolutely delighted to have been able to take some time to have your team present with us. Again, we understand the time is getting a little away from us, so I'd like to thank you all and thank everyone who joined us today. And also the team from Matchworks for taking the time to come in and talk to us. We hope you all enjoyed it. And if you'd like more information, please reach out to us here at Kinaway and we'll get you connected with the team at Matchworks.
Just before we sign off, Kim, is it okay? I forgot to add in there as well. We've got specialised Indigenous employment consultants that work with our Indigenous cohorts across the nation, which is headed up by Glenn Duncan, who is based in Sydney. But we've got a team down here in Melbourne as well that will specialise the Indigenous cohort to what you're looking for as well for your businesses. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much, Chris. I'm glad that you're able to touch on that. And for all of our Kinaway members and people watching, now that you know that most important piece of information, please reach out to myself and we'll get you connected with the team at Matchworks to achieve the best possible outcomes for your business, but equally as important for the individuals that you employ and empower through employment. So from myself and the team here at Kinaway and the team out at Matchworks, thank you very much for your participation. And we look forward to seeing you in the next wonderful instalment at Kinaway TV.